It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. So welcome to Mind Your Business.
Thank you for having me.
I have the pleasure of interviewing Shakeem Albouy.
Mm-hmm.
You are founder of WOI, or the Working On It app.
Well, you can pronounce it as WOI.
WOI,
Yeah,
okay.
so,
WOI.
yeah, exactly.
All right. So today we're going to talk about your entrepreneurial journey, talk about the app, like what was the catalyst around building the app, why did you think it was necessary, all that kind of good stuff. But before we get started, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, of course. So my name's Shakeem Albouy. I'm a problem solver and innovative thinker. I have a passion for finding simple but unique ways, to create value for people. So I also am a cyber underwriter for one of the largest insurers in the globe, as well as Bermuda.
That sounds real fancy.
No, that's my profession. Just to give a little bit of background of who I am. I grew up in Bermuda, born and raised. I had the privilege of going and attending boarding school in Atlanta for football. Okay. Yeah, so I played football majority of my life, and that's kind of where I've got a lot of experiences to travel and go to college and things like that. So that's a little bit of background of.
So what made you come back to Bermuda? Because usually people go and they're like, no, I'm just going to stay out here. So what was...
Yeah, so at the time when I had graduated with a psychology degree and I originally came back to Bermuda, I was more so, I've always been interested into the tech field.
Okay.
But a lot of the opportunities as far as psychology in Bermuda is very limited. Is either you got to go to social work or be a psychiatrist, and I wanted to be more in research and development sense. So when I came back to Bermuda, obviously it was more so in a way to kind of get money at the time. Being in college for a long period of time and boarding school, I had focused on just like I just need to make money at this time. You know what I mean? So when I came back to Bermuda, it was more so let me find a job and things like that. So that's kind of how I guess my journey started. Okay. And then I guess we can talk about that journey.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So the WOI, why, how, why did you decide that you were going to do this?
So I have a unique story in a sense. So I'll kind of pick back up where we initially started, or where we left off. So when I came back to Bermuda, I didn't have many options, like I said, in the psychology field. So I ended up getting a job at Digicel. This is when the first fiber to the home network was rolled out, and I had a good job. I was making good money. I worked there for about a year, and at the time, I knew that I was making enough, but I knew that it wouldn't sustain me for the life that I wanted to live, per se. So I said, okay, let me take a step back, and at that time I had found another job at Grotto Bay. Okay. So I worked at Grotto Bay front desk for about 2 years, and that kind of put me in a state of like I need to be in a sense of, I knew the tourism industry wasn't fit for me. Yes. But it allowed me, I guess, to really focus and find like my purpose in a sense. So at that point in time, things started to shake after my first year was okay. But in my second year, I said I needed to start looking for alternative things. And quite funny enough, the government at the time was putting on these web development courses and like fintech. This when they was first rolling out the fintech initiative in Bermuda. And I think I actually had one of the first lessons or classes in here. So it was this gentleman by the name of Amilcar Chevalier. I can't pronounce his last name, but he owned a company or a school called the Fintech School. And what the Fintech School was, it was a breakdown of a lot of the industries in terms of financial technology. And I always had a love for technology and computers, but I never really understood coding and how everything was kind of intertwined. Yes. So that course that I had taken basically gave me a great sense of like how everything worked. And it broke it down in simple terms to where someone like me who was interested in technology would say, okay, I want to learn more about this. So I ended up taking every course that was on the school. So it was fintech, like introduction, AI, intro into insurtech. It was probably like 12 courses, and I was just like, I just took all of them.
You're like, more.
Yeah, exactly. But it was just more so like, they would just fuel my passion because I always was curious about computer science. Yes. But in the times of when I was transitioning from high school to college, computer science was kind of hidden away in like this corner in the room where it's like, it wasn't presented in the way how it's presented now, to where it's accessible to everyone.
Yes.
So I was like, so when I had this opportunity, I was like, wow, this is really simple. Like,
I wish I would
have known this before, right? So that had started, and then I guess the momentum of just doing that just led to more opportunities. So at the time, my mentor, Jade Eve, who puts on a lot of different coding boot camps and things like that in Bermuda, he ended up putting on this collaboration between him and the government called the Longtail School. And what this was a full stack web development course. And the full stack web development course, really, if you really wanted to take it like outside of Bermuda, like this opportunity was like a unique thing to where the government funded it. It was free, and they also paid you to attend.
Okay.
So I think they paid you a stipend of $500 a week, I think. It was a 3-week course, so it allowed me to take off from my job at the time for 3 months and take this course. But this same course, if you was to take it away in the States, which I had been researching at the time, it's about $20,000.
Oh, wow.
And plus you had to have living expenses for 3 months. So it's like, for the government.
Why wouldn't you do it here?
Why wouldn't I do it here? So it was broadcasted, but I guess it was in a way to where, you couldn't have everyone show. But in a sense, a lot of students did sign up, and not many completed the course, but it was a great opportunity, and I just took advantage of it. So after that 3 months, we developed apps and figure out, how does actually the internet work, like from the simple basics to building a full stack web development app. So at the end of the course, the instructor, this gentleman named by Nelly Sugu, he is from Africa, from Rwanda. He basically asked us if we would like to go to Africa to teach the same thing that we was learning in this course. So it's basically like called a reinforcement learning.
Yeah.
So it's a way
to make sure that you understand the concepts and everything.
Enough to basically, if you're able to teach it, you know it enough.
Yeah.
Right? So I jumped at the opportunity. I think me and 3 other students in the class.
That's what's up.
Traveled to Africa, and we taught students, like adult students, web development. It was eye-opening. And this kind of draws back.
And how long were you over there?
I was over there for a whole month.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually
had an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, and I actually had a high school friend at the time that I went to boarding school with. He was in the same city, so I got to see the local side as far as the people that I was, teaching,
right,
as well as the people that I had been in school with. So I got an amazing experience. It was eye-opening, and as far as I guess how that leads into WOI, it's crazy because when you look at Africa, sometimes like developing nations, we have a negative view of them, or we think that they're behind. But what I saw there was that Africa really skipped the .com area, which is really the time period where computers and things like that, right? They skipped that area and went straight to like mobile.
Yes.
So
everything is on the phone,
everything is on the phone in Africa. You can send money, you can pay for bills, you can buy airtime, which is like minutes on your phone. You can do everything off your phone, right? So they actually skipped a big period in time and basically are more advanced than we are in Bermuda. So I got to see that, and I was like, wow, it's crazy how a developing nation is way more advanced than a developed nation, right? So that's kind of how I started the idea of thinking of, okay, how can I come back to my country and make value? So that was the birth of WOI.
I love that. I mean, you literally have done all the things, right? He's like, I went to school for psychology, left that, then I went to tourism, left that, then I decided, I'm going to learn how to create apps. Then I went to Rwanda. So that's really,
I appreciate
it's a impactful journey, I think, for any young person, especially a young male, listening to you and saying, I don't have to stick with this thing if it's not something that I'm really passionate about. And then the piece where you said you always were into IT and computers.
It's a full circle kind of loop.
Yeah, but you thought it was unattainable, but you went out and got it. So it is within your grasp. Yeah. It is within your reach. So I hope people are hearing that. Yeah. So let's talk about WOI and let's talk about what it is.
For sure. So WOI simply is like simplicity, right? That's the whole purpose of the application, is to bring something that is mundane or difficult to achieve in a simple format, right? When I think back to when I was a young kid and I had to call a water truck to the house, right? Everyone back in the day, in the 90s or 2000s had phone books in their house.
That's right.
So a phone book basically had every business as well as personal contact numbers. It's kind of crazy when you think about it today to have your personal number available to everyone, right?
Yeah.
But it was a thing that it was simple, and if you need to get in contact with someone, this is the way how you did it, right? So just think about the simplicity of opening a phone book and finding someone that you need and calling them just to get in contact with them. So I brought that same concept to what WOI is now. So in terms of connecting with service providers or local businesses. So essentially that's what WOI is, and we basically created a platform to allow you to do this in an easy
So if
way.
I'm looking for someone to paint my daughter's bedroom wall, for example, which I am.
I can recommend Josiah the Painter. Josiah the Painter is a service provider who's on the platform. And it's not just in terms of home improvement. It's a wide plethora of businesses. So we have adventures and experiences. We have beauty and wellness. We have media and entertainment. DJs. It's a full host of services on the platform. And we're going to expand into different fields as well.
So tell me how it works, because I need to understand how this is different from a directory. How is it different from Bermuda YP? And how is it different from, let's say, Sargasso or something like that?
So the thing is that it can be as simple as a directory in a sense of the idea is to bring all businesses together in one central platform. And in terms of if you need to look for one thing, you have options in terms of painters, you have options in terms of landscapers. So if you just need to get in contact with a business or see the services that they provide, the prices, the reviews that they have, you can go in there, sign up, and you can see everything. Now, if you want to take it a step further and get in contact in terms of paying for services up front, you can do that as well. And you also have to look at it from the business provider's perspective in terms of the whole idea is that businesses want to be able to attract and retain customers, right? So like that's what the phone book was back in the day. It was a way how to get leads into your business. So businesses have access to the application as well, and then they can receive requests, they can get paid and everything via the application.
So now that's different from a directory, because you can't do that. And then you mentioned being able to pay up front. Like, why would I do that?
So the thing is that, to take a step back, we have trust embedded into the application. So we have two different types of flows. One is an instant book flow, and then one is a request flow. So when you pay for something, you basically send a request to the business. And what the business then goes and accepts the request, they either accept it, cancel, or negotiate the request, depending upon what you want. But obviously in that conversation, we have a message feature that you can message the business and talk offline or over the phone, and then come to a conclusion that this is what you want. And what the thing is that we accept the payments on behalf of the business, and then once the business is complete, the business then sends a completion request to the customer, and the customer has to sign off to say this is accepted, and then it allows the customer to leave a review. So on to that point, me as an admin, I'm allowed to see the full history of all of the, as well as the customers and businesses can see the full history of all events that took place. You have a full trail of all of the events, and it just builds trust between the customer and the business, because the business knows that the service is paid up front. And the customer knows that the money is held and the business is not going to run off.
So you, as WOI, are holding the money, sort of like an escrow. Now, sometimes, especially when we're talking about service providers, and I said I wanted my wall painted, this wall. Now, you done painted the wrong wall, and I don't want to pay for that. How do you manage those kind of complaints?
So we have dispute resolutions built into the application. So you can, as a customer, if you have paid for a service up front, or which you would have, you have the ability to add a dispute inside the application, which then comes to us, and then we can basically rectify the issue between the customer and the business. So we've thought about all of the steps and things that it would take for something to go wrong, as well as enable customers and businesses to do what they need to do. But I also say that the application is built in a way to where businesses can operate it in any sort of way that fits their business model, because the service provider model for home solutions is different from a beauty service, or it's different from this, it's different from that. So I tell people that the application is built in a way as a blank template, and you can basically utilize it in whatever format fits your business properly. So I have a beauty business on my application who's already has a full a
system,
location, full system, a booking platform, and they want to be a part of the platform in terms of its directory and its listings, but they don't want to be able to accept payments for the reasons that they already have a payment gateway, they already have credit card system, they already have their own booking platform. So what I did, I built in a contact request form instead. So for them, they're allowed to accept requests from customers that can send. So what it is basically, it would send your name, your email, and your phone number, and you can type a message asking what you want or detailing what you want. It will send that information to the business. The business has that information come up on the phone or on their laptop or email, and then now they can get in contact with the business basically the same way.
So it's like a lead generator for that particular business.
Okay. So like I said, so it's built in a way to where it fits whatever businesses, the business model. Some businesses may have an issue where people are not paying for services. It could be the beauty industry where someone comes and says, well, I don't have cash on me today. Can I pay you next week?
Right.
So a lot of businesses right now are saying, no, you need to give me a deposit before you come. So for that instance, it can fit into that model. For certain other instances where you might pay a lot of money up front, a painter might say, well, just give me 50% for the supplies.
Right.
So it really is built in a way to it can fit any business.
Okay. And so was the idea behind creating the app built off of some pain? Because you said at the very start that you're a problem solver, right? What was the problem that you were solving with it?
Yeah, so the biggest problem that I saw was more so relating to small businesses or people just entering into the entrepreneurial space. Because you have entrepreneurs who have a great idea, and then the startup cost to get their business out there is
prohibitive.
Right. So in terms of setting up a website, setting up bank account, payment gateway, that process might take 3 months, and now your idea is done because you had a window to sell a product or sell a service, and now it's gone. So now you have to wait another 12 months for it to come around, right? So the idea is that you're able to sign up on WOI. I mean, we verify every business that comes on. No one can just sign up and just be on the platform. I have to authorize everyone that comes on the platform. But it gives you a way to where you can now test an MVP and see if it works, and you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to make that happen. You can now spend money into your actual product and your service to make it stand out and make it different, right?
Right.
So I think that was the biggest thing for me because I was I had, like I said, like a t-shirt business at first, and I had created t-shirts, and initially I had used this platform that basically I sent the designs to them, and they provided essentially kind of what I have right now. They would print the t-shirts, they would send it out, but the payments were accepted on PayPal, and obviously I can't take that money out. I can use it to now buy more supplies, but it's a bad cycle to get in, because now if your business does scale and you do start making a lot of money, what can you really do with that money? Right. It's kind of like, oh, that was a good idea, now let me do something else.
Right.
So I feel like this is going to give people an ability to get into something that they like or try something that they like without having to spend thousands of dollars or, just being more efficient, essentially. Like I said, it's simple. Okay. And that's the whole idea behind it.
So from idea to implementation or launch to where you are now, how long was that process?
Yeah, so for me, I like to do things properly. I don't like to rush, and I don't like to, take shortcuts in my development, because I feel like everything in time happens. So for me, like I said, when I first went to Africa, I started developing as soon as I came back. And it was like a blessing and a curse because COVID happened. But it kind of gave me a lot of time to develop the idea. But even after that full year, I've been developing it since 2020, so that's 4 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm just at a point to where now I'm scaling it and marketing it in a sense. I had a lot of great ideas over the past 3 years of how I was going to scale it. But I had held back because what I did, I started doing beta testing groups. So I beta tested beauty services first, and I got to know what their needs and what their problems were in the industry. And then when I first launched, the application was good, but it had certain tweaks and things about it that didn't allow it to excel. And I know Bermuda's a market to where, especially not even just Bermuda, but apps is a tricky thing you have to get right the first time.
Yeah.
Because when someone writes you off, they're not going to download your app again.
Yep.
So I feel like my personality in general is kind of to do things perfect, and it's not do things perfect, but do things in a way to where it sets a standard.
Right.
And I think that's how my application also stands out between other applications on the island or other applications in general. I just try to do things in a way that it's going to be remembered and people are going to have a good experience.
Use it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to just make something fast and, you know what I mean? So.
And it's iterative. I think, like, with the updates, like, you're always getting an update because you're fixing something, you've identified something. And so I think people expect that to occur.
Of course.
But surely that first introduction has
to be at a certain standard.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So beauty industry, you like, yep, got them locked. Then what was next?
So the next industry was the service providers.
Yeah.
And that's what the most recent iteration was. So when I first launched, I just had the application. And then I realized, well, I already knew this, but you know, it's a cost saving thing, trying to launch your app in a way that you're not like breaking the bank, right?
Yes.
So I first launched the application because I knew people were more inclined to use an app than a website. Like I said, we're kind of going into the mobile side.
On your phone then.
So I first developed the app, but then the app had certain features that needed a website in order to have full functionality.
Okay.
Like if you go on if you go on Airbnb and you like a home and you want to send it to another user, applications don't have URLs built into them. They basically need a website in order to
be able to do that
functionality. It's called like universal linking. So it was certain features that I need to have a website. So I developed a website, and then everything right now is kind of like a learning process for me because it's the first time. So I had developed a website, but I didn't have any maintenance on the actual apps that I had built like over that previous year. So when the website was built,
it was like we can't talk to each other.
Yeah, so it's crazy because you know Apple every week Apple comes with an update. Right?
Yes, correct.
And the thing is that you know your application can still work, but a lot of the bugs come up because now Apple has restricted certain access to certain things. So you have to basically maintain this over the period of development. So now I'm at a point where both applications work. The apps and the websites work. So now I'm at a point where I'm ready to scale. I've added more categories into the application.
Yeah.
So I'm at a point where now the service industry was the first, I guess, industry that I wanted to tackle in because I saw a real growth and real promise inside of it. But now I'm also looking in alternative areas. So basically,
like what?
So I want to create the app to where Bermuda is the one-stop shop for anything local, anything as far as business, events, products. When you really think about it, everything's segmented. Even on Instagram, most businesses are on Instagram now. If I wanted to find a local designer, I have to search through or get it recommended, or I have to see someone and then save it on Instagram. A lot of people don't have websites, and I think that the collaborative nature of the application is really what's going to win over people. And it's going to take a little mindset shift because initially everyone wants to do things on their own. I'm the same way. But in terms of collaboration, when businesses realize that you're going to make more being a part of a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, like vendors markets, for instance, is that same sort of concept when it comes to application. Now, if everyone knows that everything local is on one platform, events, products, services, who knows what else it could be. More people are going to go to that site, right?
To that end, because we've seen iterations, like at BDC, we've seen specific apps that were designed to kind of allow you to identify a service provider, rate the service provider, start, and it no longer exists. We've seen other apps that come and list the different types of businesses that exist, that sell products, these types of things. You have other apps that just list other like locally made. So if you want this to be a one-stop shop, how do you do that? Right? Because they are still some apps that exist that do some of the things that you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like for me personally, it's all about how you connect and grow with your audience.
Right.
It's the same with products. It's the same with music. It's the same with anything when you're selling to someone or you're offering a service to someone. You have to be able to find the problem and also be able to connect with the people that you're connecting with.
Right.
For me, I feel that a lot of times people create these products or services or like applications and they forget the demographic that they can actually resonate with. And my demographic are my people, my age group.
Yes.
And a lot of times people try to skip over them because they feel that, this age group doesn't have money. They feel like this age group, people that own homes aren't our age. But my whole premise is that I know that I can target my age group because I know what they like.
Right.
I know what they're interested in. I know how to market to them. I know how to create content that they're interested in. So my thing is that, people may have created it before, but I feel I have a personal connection with people and I know how to target my audience. And I'm not afraid to fail when it comes to these things, right? I feel like it's a learning process. And creating this application has opened way more doors than it has closed for me.
Right, right.
So for me, it's more so I'm learning as I'm going, and I'm able to pivot things fast. Like I've created the application from ground up. So that's another critical aspect that I left out. I created it from the ground up, so I'm able to implement and change specific things about the application. I didn't purchase this offline.
Right.
I didn't buy this from a white label application provider.
Right,
I created it from the ground up, so I knew specifically if I had an issue. Like I said, I had a business come to me about they want to be on a platform, but they don't want to take payments. Okay, cool. I got you. I'm gonna make that change within a week, and then now you have that product. So it's also service, how you service people, how you communicate with people. So yeah, I just think that now I'm just like laser focused on what I need to do, and I know how to get there.
So talk to me about how people have received that.
Yeah, so
because you said it's for your age group, so you just send.
No.
Okay, I get. Okay, received.
So when I say my age group, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to marketing, you can't market to everyone.
No, you cannot.
You can't market to everyone because you're gonna lose out on the specific people that you might be trying to market and trying to create an ad or whoever for the entire Bermuda. Because at the end of the day, if what interests you might not interest me.
Correct.
So I feel like you have to figure out how to gain some momentum first from the ground up. You have to feel like, okay, if I'm just targeting young black males, I'm just targeting my age group, what sort of things are they into? What sort of things do they like? Now, if I get enough of those people, then I start getting another group and I start getting another group. So in terms of just overall growth, the reception of that has been amazing. Like I said, I just started, so I just really launched it in February.
Okay.
As far as like to the public, right? I've been out for a little while, but I haven't publicly, like I said, advertised.
Out, like marketing it and telling people it.
So I know that I know what I had to do, because at the end of the day, all of us on social media, all of us on TikTok, all of us is on YouTube, and we see the type of content that resonates with us all the time, right? And I feel like a lot of times people try to, even myself, I'm more of a shy, reserved person. Yeah. But I know that I need to be the face of my app because I'm going to get more people interested in it, me talking about it than just saying, I'm just going to run an ad and just try to get that to do the work for me, right?
It doesn't work like that anymore.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And what I've been doing, going around town, street interviews, I just know that this is sort of things people like to see, right?
Yeah.
People like to see Bermudians talk. People like to see us connect, smile with each other. And that's how I just zero in how the app is useful, right? And a lot of times right now, I'm not even really worrying about profits and things like that. I'm just worrying about brand recognition and creating an application that's simple, but everyone knows exists.
So what is the process? If I am a vendor, I'm a service provider, and I want to be on the app, what has to happen?
So to find the app, you would either go on our Instagram, click the link in our bio, or you just go in the App Store, right, and just say download WOI Business, or you can, like I said, visit our website.
And WOI is WOI.
WOI, yeah. So WOI Business. And what you do is you fill out the contact form information, you sign up, you're able to register. It's a simple process. Let's say it's like setting up a Facebook account.
Okay.
You add your name, email, phone number, and then it takes you to the necessary steps. So then you add your availability. What is your times and hours that you may be open? Let's say 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. You add your services. So let's say you add one service. Let's just say it's cleaning a home. You add your service, you add your logo, and then once your application is created, I can see that you created your application. It's in pending. So now that it's in pending, I have the ability to contact you now and get to know who you are.
If you're legitimate.
Yeah, but most of these people, like I said, are people that I know.
Yes,
if they sign up, I might recognize a name and say, yeah, I know who that person is. I might just look up their Instagram account. And I can see what they should have on a website as far as like their reviews or pictures of their work. So I can see that they are a legitimate business, right? It's not just someone
and is there
from
a
off the
fee?
street. No, so right now what I've done, I waived all the fees for signing up, but it is a fee for transaction. But what I made the application is low cost and accessible to everyone. So it's accessible for a business that's just starting, as well as a veteran business that's been in business for 20 years. Right.
So because you want as many people.
I want as many people in the application as possible. I don't want it to be segmented to a certain demographic of people who may be able to be on the application, but it has no real value because they can just go create their own website.
Right.
You know, they could just do their own thing. The idea is that you want people constantly visiting the site, getting leads, looking for something, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at Marge's list.
Yeah.
People go on Marge's list, but I was thinking about this today, right? Because I saw someone post something, and it's like, it's funny that that you have to go to Marge's list sometimes to post personal things because you don't know where to look.
Right.
You might have someone. I saw someone.
People ask all the time, "Where can I find a painter?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That as well. But like, just think of the fact of like, I saw someone post, I need someone to help exterminate rats in my home.
Yeah.
Right. Some personal things you don't want to say.
Yeah.
Some things you would rather just be able to type into Google or go on WOI and just find what you need without people knowing your business.
Everybody knowing you got rats.
So I'm not going over there for Thanksgiving. I'm sorry. So,
I mean, I think it's really cool that you are doing this. I wish you the utmost success. Like you said, like I said before, I've seen iterations of it, but maybe nothing that has all of the components that you say that yours has with the payment and all of that. So what are you looking forward to for WOI? Like, what do you want it to be when it grows up?
Yeah, so I just take everything one step at a time. I don't try to move too far ahead. I have ultimate goals for WOI of where it could be. My dream goal would be to take it back to Africa, where I got the initial idea, and launch something similar or in other jurisdictions around the world. Like I said, it's a custom.
And it's an app, so why couldn't it be? You just need the contacts, right?
Exactly. I have the contacts, really, but my premise is that if I when I get it to work in Bermuda, I have the utmost resume to say it's worked in Bermuda, it can work anywhere in the world, right? This is the most highest cost living place in the world. So if it can work here, it can work anywhere.
It can work anywhere.
And that's another thing about WOI, right? So when it comes to price points, I was talking to someone about this today. Let's just say about events, right? You want to host an event or you want to host a party. You need lighting. You need this. You need that. You might just go to one person and ask, who can I get in contact with? And that one person is going to give you a name, and you're going to just go to that one person. Because most people are not going to just try to shop around and get quotes from multiple different vendors if they don't know where to start in the first place. And that is like the same for most services, right? And that kind of leads people to accept prices that they wouldn't normally accept because there's no other options, right? And that's kind of the thing around Bermuda. It's like, it's a price point for everyone on the whole entire island. You can find things that fit into your budget because, like I said, I have a gentleman named Wode. He does landscaping services, and his prices are the lowest I'm seeing because he says that I want to help the community. I want to focus on providing high quality, low cost landscaping. You know, for people. We just did a charitable event just last week where we went and found a yard that had overgrown landscaping. We just went and cut the yard for free. And the guy didn't know. He came home. He was so amazed. But it just kind of shows that there are people out there that would do certain things for a price point because, like I said, they don't have employees. They don't have
their overhead.
You know, the overhead's low, right? Because they're just starting. They don't need to charge $500 or $1,000 per land for a yard, right? I mean, some people will pay that because they think that's what it costs to get your yard cut. But you also have a gentleman who's out here to give because it's only him. And I think that it's like that for a lot of services. I mean, you get what you pay for in terms of
quality,
overall things, but in terms of if someone may just need an overall just cut to keep the yard looking pretty in terms of the neighbor's yard looks pretty.
So it's variety that you're trying to provide with the app.
It's not just terms of, like I said, it's not just about like, so you have different tiers of people, price point, service quality. You might want to interact with someone because they're a great person and they talk to you and they talk about their day and they speak on that things, right? It's not just, this person is the best at doing nails. But when I go there, I'm miserable because they give me a bad energy.
Right. The energy's not good.
So it's like,
to each his own.
Each his own. Whatever you want, it's something out there for you. Right? So
I love that.
That's how I feel.
Look, it has been great talking to you. I mean, when I saw that I had an opportunity to interview, I was really intrigued because, like I said, I've seen iterations of this, and so I want this to work because I do think it's something that we need, right? Definitely. We can't always rely on Maj's list to tell us where we can find the painter, and like you said, it gives you the opportunity to seek out more than just the one quote. Now you can put it out there. This is what you're looking for, and people can,
Definitely. But like I said, so services is going to be one element of an application. Once you start adding more and more things as far as variety of things that are available in Bermuda, now you have a super app or app that allows you to find whatever you need. Right. It's not just services, it's not just products, it's not just events, but it could be things related to tourists. It could be things, and think about the tourist element. When they come to Bermuda, they don't know anything. Majority of businesses aren't on websites. So they are missing out on tons of local raw experiences that we may not even know about either, right? So I just feel like, it's an endless thing that could have opportunity for Bermuda.
Well, I'm not mad at you. I really do appreciate you for coming and talking with us about your journey. And I would love for you to share with people how they can reach out, how they can find you again. So if they want to sign up, if they want to look for a service provider or product.
So our website is called workingonit.tech. So you can visit our website, you can sign up, you can download the application on WOI Customer, WOI Business, and mind you, it's only available for the iOS, so for Apple phones, but you're able to access everything on the web as well. So it's mobile friendly. So if you have an Android, you can just access the website. You can follow us on Instagram at Working On It app. So we have everything uploaded there, and you can follow us on TikTok as well. It's the same at name across all of our platforms.
Awesome.
So you can find us.
Well, thank you, Shakeem.
I
appreciate you for coming to Mind Your Business.
Yeah.
And remember, if you don't mind your business, who will? Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.